Hey guys, Allison here with Southland Goldens. I am here with Gumbo for your final training video. This is going to be a lengthy video. We're going to break down all the commands that Gumbo knows. We're going to go over the hand signals, the verbal cues, how you're going to continue to train him. In this email, you're going to see that I have also sent Gumbo's current schedule. This is what we have him on. Don't feel like you have to follow it exactly. I just like to let you know, hey, this is what he's used to. And then you can slowly transition to what works best for you. As you know, he is a super laid back, really sweet boy, really easygoing. So I don't think this transition is going to be hard at all. The main thing I want you to know is it is a big deal when he's leaving the world as he's known it his whole life. So be patient with him those first couple days. We're just going to do a couple of training sessions each day. You'll see right here, I've got some treats on my side. Actually, it's just his kibble. I don't have to use treats with him. It's not something that you're going to have to carry around every time you train Gumbo. In the beginning, I do recommend using this just as he gets used to you guys being his handlers, but slowly fade this out because it's not ideal for you to always have treats on your side at this age, and that's the only reason he'll listen to you. So we want to make sure that, one, he learns that, hey, you're the new boss, you guys are the ones in charge, so do reward him at first, but then you're going to wean him off that within 2 weeks max. You don't have to have this. You can use it occasionally, but it's not something that we have with us every time we work with Gumbo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this into all the things that he knows. You guys will have this video to always go back and refer to. Of course, if you have any questions after he gets home or at any point, feel free to reach out. We can jump on a FaceTime call, anything, because I know you're going to have questions and we're happy to help. So you ready, Gumbo? You ready to get started, big guy? All right. The first commands we are going to go over are sit and down. These go hand in hand because for Gumbo to lay down, first you've got to put him in the sit position. I've still got him over on his place board where I told him to stay. I'm going to call him over. You'll see the thing I love about him is he is never in a hurry. We say he's like an old soul, just takes his sweet time, super laid back. So, all right, big guy. Gumbo, here. Come on, take your sweet time. That's a good boy. Good boy, all the way. Yes. So he knows once he gets to me, he's to sit down. So I've got him in the sit position, and I'll show you sit after we get him to lay down. So for Gumbo to lay down, you're going to take your hand, Gumbo, down. You're going to lower it all the way down. Good. Stay. And I want him to stay there. You'll see he shifts his hips, and that's so he gets comfortable. And I want him to stay there until I release him. To release him, I'm just going to say, okay, and I'm going to tap the side of my legs. That means, Gumbo, you're free to get up, you're free to lay down, but it's on my terms, not yours. So anytime you release him from any command, you're going to tap the side of your legs and you're going to say, okay. And again, he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to get up. It's just he can't get up until you do that. All right, so for video purposes, I'm going to call him over. Gumbo, come on, big guy. All right, for sit, we're just going to say Gumbo, sit. Super simple. He knows it. Super easy. Good boy. So the verbal cue is just Gumbo, sit. The hand signal is you take your right hand by your right thigh and raise it up. Sit is so simple. You don't have to do those together. You just say Gumbo, sit, and Gumbo's going to sit down. Now for down, we do those together. So what we do is we take that right hand, we lower it down. We're not here, we're not done, big guy. Come here. Gumbo, here. Good boy. Sit. For down, we're going to take this right hand. We're going to lower it down, and we're going to say Gumbo, down. Yes. Stay. Once his belly gets all the way on the ground. Good boy. And again, you don't have to always reward with treats. I'll do some here in just a second without the treats. Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm going to tap my leg and say, okay, Gumbo, you're free to get up. Do whatever you want to do. All right. We're going to do it just a couple more times. Again, this is a super simple command. Everybody knows sit, everybody knows down, but I do want you to see me working with him so you know how to do it properly. Gumbo, sit. Good. Yes. Gumbo, down. And stay. I say stay because I want him to see, I want to see that shift in his hips. that he gets comfortable and he knows that he is to stay laying down until I release him. Okay? Good boy, Gumbo. Good boy. Good boy. Come here. Gumbo, sit. Good. Good boy, Gumbo. Yes. 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 And our marker word is yes or good boy. Either one's perfectly fine. And again, for down, Gumbo, down. And stay. Yes, good boy, good boy. So that is sit and down. The next command we are going to go over is place. So place is the Kuranda beds that we use. I'm going to send a link. You can order them off Amazon. The brand that we like are Kuranda brand beds. I'll send you the link. We use the aluminum beds. I'll send you the size. That way, if you want to order one. Place is just a specific location that the dog is to go to and stay there until they are released. I prefer the elevated beds. That way they know their boundary of where they can and can't move from. So when I tell him to go to this place, what you'll see is he is allowed to sit, stand, lay down, whatever he wants, as long as he stays on there and he does not get off until I release him. So anytime that we want him to go to there, we want to be able to say his name and say place. What I recommend you do is that you leave it in the same location in your home. It won't take him long where he will learn, okay, when you say that, this is exactly where it is. If we start moving this bed all around, he's going to get confused. So my recommendation, again, is just to leave it in the same spot. In the beginning, you're going to have to walk over and point and show it to him because he's never been to your house. He doesn't know where it is. So for those first couple weeks, just till he learns where everything is, you're just going to say his name and point at the location and say place. I'm trying to be real careful because he's listening to me right now and I don't want him to run over there. I want you guys to see the whole thing. So for him to go over there, we're going to say Gumbo. Okay, got to release him. Gumbo, place. Gumbo, place. Good. Yes. Stay. And I'm always going to tell him to stay. I want him to stay there until he is released. So again, he can move around, he can sit up, he can lay down, as long as he does not get off that place board. He is to stay there. I should be able to walk around, do whatever I want, as long as he knows that he does not get off that location. Good boy. Then I'll walk back and I'm just going to tell him yes. Good boy. Good boy. Let him know that, hey, the behavior you're doing is something I like. Give him a few pieces of kibble and a few neck scratches. That's his favorite. And I'm going to, again, tell him to stay because I don't want him to get off there until I tell him that he can. When I allow him to get off there, I say, okay. Tap the side of my leg. Gumbo knows, hey, I've completed that task. I'm free to do whatever I want to do. Sit. Good boy. Good boy, Gumbo. Good boy. All right, we're going to do it again just so they can see. You ready? Gumbo, place. Place. Good. Stay. He can sit. He can lay down as long as he is to stay. And you'll see he gets comfortable. Good boy. Okay. And again, that just means, hey, you're released. Place is one of my favorite commands just for the fact that if you've got people coming over, you don't want that dog that's running around, although Gumbo's really not that guy. He's super laid back, but he's still a puppy. I mean, he's not even a year yet, so he gets his little burst of energy. So we want to be able to say place, and we want to have him go to an area that we know he's going to stay to. In the beginning, until he gets used to your place, your location, you as his trainer, don't ask him to stay too long, just for a little while. Walk over, give him a treat, just say good boy, tell him to stay, and then give him a few seconds, maybe a minute or so, and then say, okay, tap your leg, and let him off. We don't want to ask him right when he gets home to go stay on his place board for 30 minutes. That's just a little too much until he gets comfortable with you guys. So I tell people with training, when they make the transition from our home to your home, they're going to take a step back. And that's normal. They've got to learn, the world as they know it has been completely turned upside down, that you guys are the new trainers. So we want to take baby steps. Do the place command, 30 seconds or so, release him, reassure him that, hey, I'm going to release you, but it's on my terms, not yours. So again, baby steps with all of our commands. We're going to do it one more time. What do you think, Gumbo? Come on. Gumbo, place. Place. You'll see I point to place. Good. Stay. Good boy. Good boy. Yes, and that is place. So our next command is going to be wait. You'll see that every time we go in and out of a door, we always tell Gumbo to wait. I want you to be the first one to walk through, and then he follows behind you. So that's super important. We want to make sure that he knows you're the one in control. So, okay, Drew, if you want to go ahead and take Gumbo in, and we're going to show you how we tell him, and all it is Gumbo wait. You will see that Drew has walked in. And then he tells him, okay. You can say, okay, come on, tap on your leg, just as long as he knows that, hey, I'm allowed to go inside now. And then we'll get them to come back out. Again, this is the wait command, where anytime you go through any door, Gumbo is to sit. Say, Gumbo, sit. Tell him to wait. You come out. There we go. Mr. Super Fast Gumbo. Good boy. Now, Drew, will you show them where if you have him on a leash and you don't want to take him off the leash, how you do it with the wait? So he just will lead him through. He'll take a couple steps in. He's going to tell him to sit, wait. He's going to walk in. So you don't necessarily have to drop the leash. I know in the beginning, until he gets used to being at your home, that's probably not something that you want to do. So, but you still want to make sure that you walk through first. You're going to tell him to sit, like Drew did there. Wait. Take a couple steps. Tell him okay. And then he's free to come through. So again, this is the wait command. Now for the fun part, and probably the most important, is when we tell Gumbo to go to the bathroom. So what we do is we use the command, take a break. We just let him out. We say, take a break. So we've just brought him outside. Drew's going to tell him, take a break. This can be on leash or off leash, whichever you prefer. You want to make sure you tell him the command, take a break. And that just lets Gumbo know, hey, I'm free to go to the bathroom. And there we go. Lots of praise after he has completed the task. Boy. And so again, for him to go to the bathroom, you just say, take a break. So our next command is going to be load up. So this is anytime you want to take Gumbo for a ride. You want to make sure that you have him on the leash. He's not going to load up unless you have him on a leash. So Drew's going to show you. He's got Gumbo on the leash, walking in the heel position. And all he's going to have to say is, Gumbo, load up. Gumbo's going to load right up. And then once he's in, take his leash off and you can take him for a ride. Super easy. Main thing with that is just making sure that you have him on a leash and the command is load up. For unload, he jumps right out on his own. For the crate command, it's pretty simple. You're just going to walk over, say Gumbo crate, and Gumbo is going to get into his crate. He knows that he is to stay there until I say, okay, or if I shut the door and release or shut the door, then he knows once I open the door, he's to be released. So again, Gumbo, crate, crate, down. Close that. There we go. And he knows he's to stay in his crate until I say okay, or I open the door. Either one. So super simple. Anytime you want Gumbo to go in the crate, you just say Gumbo crate and he's going to go in there. Our next two commands are going to be stay and here. These go together. Drew's going to kind of walk you through the verbal cue and the hand signals of what we ask for Gumbo when we want him to stay and we want him to come to us. So right now he's going to go ahead and take Gumbo off leash. And he's tapped his leg to say okay, meaning that he is free. So anytime you ask him to stay, you'll see that he holds his hand up like a stop sign, and he's going to say, Gumbo, stay. We want to use kind of a firm voice. We want to make sure that he hears us. Okay, so when he calls him to him, you're going to see that he lowers his right hand by his right thigh. Good old laid back Gumbo. So he's going to lower his hand by his right thigh, and he's going to say, Gumbo, here. Right here, we've asked him to stay. He's held his hand up like a stop sign. He said, Gumbo, stay. And again, you'll see Drew right there has lowered his right hand, and that is the sign for Gumbo to come all the way here. And Gumbo could sit or lay down as long as he comes all the way to you. That's him saying Gumbo here. And that is stay and here. Next is our loose leash walking. So we want to have Gumbo in the heel position, meaning anytime we take him for a walk, he's going to be on our left side, and you're going to hear Drew tell him Gumbo heel, and that's when he starts to walk. If for some reason he gets distracted, starts to pull or anything, you're going to stop and let Gumbo come back to you. We don't like to do a yo-yo with the dog where we're pulling back and forth. So if he does start to get distracted or pull any slight bit, I want you to stop, stand still, and wait for him to release that tension in the leash. And again, this is heel on that left side. And you'll see there's no pull in that leash. Anytime that Drew stops, Gumbo is to auto sit. So we want him to, anytime you stop, want him to know that he is to sit down. So I want you guys to practice that a lot when he comes home, just so he gets used to doing that with you. So when you're going for a walk, you stop. You will see Gumbo sits. And that is heel. So again, whenever you start to walk, you're going to say Gumbo heel. Whenever you stop, he is to sit. The next thing we're going to do, I just want to show you guys, it's something that we do with Gumbo a lot here, also places at the park. We create little obstacle courses for him just to make sure that he is following us. He doesn't try to take the easy way out. It kind of helps boost his confidence. Like we've talked about, Gumbo's a very easygoing, laid back boy. So we just want to make sure that, he knows that what we ask of him is something that he can do and something that we expect him to do. So Drew's going to show you just one of the obstacle courses that we have here with Gumbo. And he's going to follow him. And Gumbo knows that no matter how tight the space is or the option for the easy way out, that he's got to follow. And again, we do this at all different types of locations, playgrounds. And then lots of praise. So just something fun you can do with him just to continue to build his confidence, make him a really smart boy. He's a good boy. Good job, Gumbo.